Guys, Bitcoin has officially broken out of the most important level of resistance that it has ever seen before, opening the door to what could be over $139,000 for the Bitcoin price. And today I'm going to tell you exactly why that breakout is so dang on important and what we can start to expect next. So look, we got a good bit to unpack today, so let's get into it. And do not forget that if you want to start trading a little Bitcoin today on up to 500x leverage, you can check out that link to BTCC down below, in which they are going to give you a 10% deposit bonus on all deposits between $500 and $100,000. This is literally just free money that you can get if you sign up and deposit today, and you can use it to start trading. So check out that link down below. Don't miss out on a deal that good, guys. Okay. Now, looking at Bitcoin, what we can see here is that the breakout is official. So first and foremost, let me tell you about what happened. Then I'll tell you what to start to expect next and what I'm looking for, what I'm doing. We got a good bit to get into. So what happened? Okay, first and foremost, what happened? Well, as we all know, just to give a little bit of a recap, for quite some time, Bitcoin, of course, put in this high and then entered into a descending channel. Now, a descending channel, quite simply, just means that we were putting in lower highs and lower lows, creating a structure that goes down, or in other words, a descending channel. Now, from there, we, of course, did see Bitcoin on April 11th put in a beautiful bottom right here and start working its way back up, officially setting the bottom for this regional low and pushing up out of the descending channel, officially giving us a breakout on April 22nd and April 21st. Now, as that breakout started to happen, I told you all that there was one crucial thing that you needed to look for from Bitcoin. If there was only one thing that you could watch, it needed to be this golden box, or in other words, the golden zone. This golden zone is the Fibonacci golden zone, and all it is, quite simply, is a Fibonacci-based resistance level, or point of resistance, that can usually determine whether or not a crypto is going to really start trying to gain some momentum upwards, or if it's going to really get rejected downwards. It's a huge decision-making zone. Matter of fact, I would actually go and say that from what I have been able to study over the last 6 to 7 years, the Fibonacci golden zone is the biggest decision-making zone that there is in crypto. And whenever you build into a golden zone, or you go up to a golden zone, you need to be watching it incredibly closely, because what happens at this golden zone, history says, will oftentimes determine what the future can look like. If a crypto works its way up to a golden zone and gets rejected, it can usually get pretty ugly from there. And that does start to put you in a spot to where, yeah, maybe we are in a bear market. Yeah, maybe we do continue downwards for the months to come because we got rejected off that major decision maker. But if you're capable of breaking that golden zone, baby, all history shows that you have a very good chance of not only just being able to continue up a little bit, but there are times in which we have been able to historically push up much further to what are called Fibonacci extension levels, and Bitcoin's case being 121,000 and 139,000. Now, this isn't guaranteed, and this isn't something that is 100% bulletproof, because listen, nothing in crypto is 100% bulletproof, but it has a very, very, very high percentage chance of being able to push a crypto back towards the upside once you break that golden zone. And if we do zoom in here, what you can see, Bitcoin has officially done it, guys. Bitcoin has officially broken the Fibonacci golden zone, which ended at $100,763, and now officially opening up the door for, again, a move to what could be $121,000 or $139,000. Now, before I show you guys kind of like what the future looks like, because listen, this isn't guaranteed, and there are still things that need to happen before we can make a move that big. Don't just think we're about to absolutely send it, click off this video right now and go open up some long trades. That's not a good idea. Give me some time. But before I show you what I'm expecting next and what I'm looking for next, let me show you some historical examples of what happens when you break this golden zone. Okay, so the last example and the most recent time that this happened was back here. We, of course, had this high. We had this low. So we, of course, had the high, swing high, we had a swing low. And anytime you have a swing high to a swing low or a swing low to a swing high, you can get a Fibonacci golden zone. And all you're going to do is you're going to get your fib retracement tool, and you're going to click that previous high. You're going to bring that low all the way down to that low. And these are my settings right here. These are what my settings look like. Okay. From there, you get the golden zone, and you can see it quite clearly. The golden zone got established from this point forward, right? Because, of course, this was the low. This is what created the golden zone. And you can see how it played out. We started trending downwards. We came down. We put in this low. We came up to the golden zone and immediately got rejected. We went up to the golden zone, immediately got rejected. Do you see how we're struggling here? Every time that we try to make any sort of progress for this month or this month or this month, I mean, we're talking 3 months that we got stuck below this golden zone, just getting forced down every single time up until we didn't. Look at how we got rejected, we worked back up. We got rejected, we worked back up. But when we finally broke this dang on golden zone, we broke out and we back tested it. When we finally successfully accomplished the breakout of this golden zone, look what happened. I mean, absolutely just sent it. Seeing Bitcoin's price push all the way from 67,000 all the way up 62% to $109,000. Now, the time before that, listen, very, very similar. And I can do this over and over and over again. Here's another great example. What you can see here, look, let's even go, you know what, matter of fact, let's just do a small example. Let's just do a very small example. Let's look at this little bitty move right here. You can see how it played out. Look at this. You see how Bitcoin's price was kind of just, it put in this high, it put in this low, then it went sideways. And as we started getting close to this golden zone, you start to see that pressure pushing it down, forcing Bitcoin's price down this week, kind of just holding it sideways. But as soon as Bitcoin tried to make this move through and successfully accomplished it, then you could see Bitcoin's price really start giving us that rally upwards. These are things that you'll notice on all time frames. Matter of fact, look, just one more example, just for fun here. I'm going to zoom all the way down into the shortest of time frames. Let's just go to the, matter of fact, let's just go to the 1 hour time frame. Let's clear all these charts off real quick and let's see if we can find a great example of this. Look, let's just go to what happened, over the last couple weeks here. We had this high, of course, we had this low. Check this out, guys. I mean, look at this. This is so clean. You had the high, you had the low, now your Fibonacci is created. We worked our way up, we came up and we cleared the golden zone, but look, hey, we had to back test, we had to battle. The bears stepped in and they fought with everything that they had to try to force us out of this golden zone, but the bulls weren't having it. They maintained this thing as support. They came back, they gave us the back test, and once we successfully back tested this golden zone, look at that, rocket fuel, just absolutely took off to where we are today. This happens on the hourlies, it happens on the dailies, it happens on the weeklies. The golden zone is the most important zone of resistance that there is, period. And we have now, again, officially broken the golden zone. Now, the question then becomes, well, does that mean that we're just immediately going to rally? I mean, Tyler, are you saying that we're going to go straight to $139,000 for Bitcoin, triggering the biggest altcoin rally in all time? No, I'm not saying that. Because there are times, historically, where, well, realistically, guys, that this doesn't hold. There is a 10-20% chance that Bitcoin does just lose support here and continue downwards. The good thing about that is, though, if that is going to happen, it'll happen very soon. And I'm talking about within the next 7 to 10 days. If Bitcoin is not going to sustain the breakout above the golden zone over the next 7 to 10 days, generally speaking, it will fall back below it. Okay. And so what I'm looking for right now, the next thing to be doing at this exact moment that we've gotten the breakout is look for that back test. Look to see, look, you see how we're slowing down a little bit right now today as of the time of recording this video? That's not coincidence. No, generally speaking, when you break the golden zone, listen, those bears are going to step in and they're going to fight like they've never fought before. You remember that chart I showed you just now where they stepped in and tried to push it back down? That is still very possible. And guys, there is still a chance that Bitcoin's price comes back down and goes back to all the way to say $94,000. That's still a reasonable thing to assume could happen. Don't forget, we still have this ascending channel right below us. And if we come back into it, yeah, we're probably going to pull back and we might head back down to 94K or maybe even a little bit lower for a little bit of a wick or so. But even if that does happen, okay, even if that does happen, it's not the end of the world. But what we need to be on the lookout for is whether or not we can sustain it, because that's the next step. The next step here is sustainment or maintainment. We've broken above the golden zone. Can we stay above it? And if we can stay above it, that's what determines, hey, we might push up for these all-time highs. 120K ain't out the picture. 139K ain't out the picture. These are things that can happen. And I know they feel like pipe dreams, and I know you don't think so, but trust me, they can happen under the right circumstances. And the first circumstance that needs to happen is that Bitcoin is capable of staying above this golden zone. Because I'll be honest with you, if Bitcoin comes and it loses the golden zone and heads back to say 85K, guys, that's not very good. The door is still open and we can still make this move up to these high levels. It's just going to be much harder because now the golden zone's back above us. And now we have this huge resistance point back above us, and we have to do this battle all over again. And so it's extremely important to be watching so closely right now to see if whether or not Bitcoin's price can maintain above this golden zone. And that's exactly what I'm doing. Now, from a practical approach, there's 3 things that I have in my strategy book right now, okay? Step number 1, if Bitcoin continues higher, I am going to continue to take profits off the table. Because the higher that Bitcoin goes, the higher that we're going to just continue to work up into this, and I think we'll go into price discovery. This is now a time to be taking profits on Bitcoin. I wouldn't be opening up huge long trades. I wouldn't even really be buying Bitcoin unless for some reason your portfolio is still negative, which would be kind of hard at this point because unless you were buying literally the very top, right? Now is a time to be profit taking. I don't think now is a time to be trying to go all in unless you're a long term investor, right? If you think Bitcoin's going to hit $250,000 one day and you just DCA every week because that's your strategy, that's totally fine. But if you're more of a short to mid-term trader, I don't think now is the time to be putting all of your eggs in the Bitcoin basket, right? If we look at the Bitcoin liquidation map on the 30-day, there are over $21 billion worth of liquidations to the downside with just a minimal $1 billion to the upside. And what this means is that the higher that Bitcoin goes, the harder it's going to be for it to continue upwards. It's going to pull back at some point. And whether it's, a more macro pullback like this, whether it's something like this, it's going to have to pull back at some point because that's just what it does. Look at your RSI. Your RSI is in that overextended period. Look at your Bollinger Bands. You're extended into the top side of your Bollinger Bands. Look at what we're seeing from our Elliott's waves. Elliott's waves are showing us, listen, we haven't even confirmed this next wave up yet. We still got to see that pullback, right? All of these things tell us that Bitcoin's going to pull back at some point. And so because of that, my strategy is I'm not opening up any long trades right now. I'm not doing really any buying right now. Matter of fact, I'm doing the opposite and I am taking profits. What we did on yesterday's live stream is we did take a good bit of profits. And this buy sell bubble sheet, which is a representation of the red bubbles is when I'm selling and the green bubbles is when I'm buying, you can see I did a large sell yesterday right around $103.4 thousand. And you can kind of see my strategy. I've been taking profits off the table all along the way. And it's not that I don't believe Bitcoin can't hit of course I think Bitcoin can hit 120K or 130K. I think those things can happen and I'll just continue to take profits all along the way up until that level. But I like to take profits in increments as we go up because I can't time the top. Guys, what if it hits only 118 and then pulls back and I was going to take all my profits at 120? Well, now I'm stuck back holding. No, that's not me. I've come to realize after 7 years, I can't time this market. I don't know when Bitcoin is going to pull back. I don't know when this pump is going to end. And so while I am in profit and while I am in green, I'll take more and more and more profit all along the way. And I will let you guys know if you are interested in learning a little bit more about when I take profit and how I take profit and how I've been able to buy on these lows in these green bubbles and sell at the highs consistently, no matter if we're in a sideways market, a downwards market, or a green market. If you want to be able to learn these things, I teach all of it over in the Crypto Strategy School. And I'm going to give you this for free. Just yesterday, I gave a quick little resource, a quick little overview of when I take profits. And what we can see is that right now, we are in one of these situations that I have labeled out as to when I take profits, which is why I'm taking profits right now. And things like this, guys, this little resource, what I'm doing, my live trades, my buys, my sells, daily workshops, live streams, research, analysis, and much more. All of this gets posted over in the school every single day. And this is turning into real life gains. We have thousands of community members generating thousands of percentages and gains on a frequent basis. There have been over $10 million in proven profit generated within this community in less than a year. And so if you're somebody who wants to get in on this, listen, we have one very simple mission, and it's to take crypto investors like yourselves and give you the tools and strategies that you need to become a winning investor. And we define a winning investor as someone who's confident and someone who's consistent. And the best part is that if you don't find all this growth, if you don't find this server valuable, I'll literally just give you your money back. I think we have a great deal there, okay? So head to the link down below. Feel free to go check out the school if that does interest you. Now, going back to this, as I mentioned before, that is the first play that I have right now, is that if Bitcoin continues to go upwards, I'm going to just continue to take some profits off the table, okay? I'm going to continue to sell more and more and more the higher that we go, locking in those profits. My average cost for Bitcoin is about $36,000, and so right now I'm taking profit at roughly a 200 to 300% gain, okay? Now, if Bitcoin's price pulls back, okay, I am going to possibly either dollar cost average or I might open up a low to medium leverage long trade depending on if I think support is being held. So let's say, for example, Bitcoin does not indeed continue upwards, but it does pull back. It does struggle a lot with trying to clear this golden zone. It loses this ascending channel and it comes back to say $94,000 to retest the bottom side of this golden zone. If I think that the bulls are stepping in and I can clearly get a feeling that they're actually doing a good job and might push the price back upwards, what I may end up actually doing is opening up a low to medium leverage long trade, so anywhere from 5 to 10x leverage, and I would open that up here with a stop loss set below my key liquidity level, which would probably give me a stop loss right around $91.8 thousand, somewhere around here. Entry would be here, stop loss would be here, take profits would be gradual and incrementally the higher and higher that we go. And my goal with this would be to try to capitalize on this pullback because, again, a pullback will happen at some point and I want to capitalize on it. The reason why, though, that I'm setting this stop loss right here is because what we don't know yet is whether or not Bitcoin for sure is about to set for all-time highs. What people tend to forget is Bitcoin could do this. I know you don't want to hear this, but Bitcoin could just do this. This could be a relief rally or a dead cat bounce, which is what they call it in the stock market. That is something that could be the case. This might not be Bitcoin opening the door to 139K. This might just be the biggest fake out that crypto's ever seen. And so I want to make sure that I am taking profits along the way. And if I do open up any leverage trades, I am setting those tight stop losses to prevent myself from back holding if this does happen. Because the last thing I want is to buy at $36,000, have an average cost of $36,000, but enter in on some leverage trades here and end up cutting into my profits because I was just getting greedy. No, if I can time it and catch me a nice little swing right here, open up some low leverage long trades, sure, I'll do that. But I am going to set those stop losses to cut those losses early so it doesn't cut too much into the profits that I've been able to generate over the last couple of years. And that's what I'm doing. I'm watching this golden zone, seeing if we can maintain on top of it. If we continue pumping, I'm taking profits along the way. If we pull back, low leverage long trade, very likely around that $94,000 level. And that's what I'm doing. I have a systematized approach to where I'm not guessing. I'm not sitting here wondering and trying to figure out what I'm going to do. No, I know exactly what I'm going to do. Because remember, a strategy is what creates a winning investor. It is not the other way around. The only reason I've been able to survive in this crypto market and make profit in this crypto market for 7 years is because I've had the strategies to allow me to do so. I didn't just make these strategies when I started winning. It's the other way. And that's why, again, you need to check out the school down below. But that's my strategy. That's my approach. And it's extremely simple, but it's very efficient. So I'll keep you guys updated on how all this plays out. And do not forget that if you do want to start doing a little trading today, you can check out that link to BTCC down below and go get that daggone 10% bonus. It's insanity. Like that type of deal you can't come by often. Go check that out. Go check out the school. Keep a very close eye on the Fibonacci golden zone. And I will be here updating you every step of the way. Of course, I hope you guys have a fantastic day. And I'll see you in a couple hours. Peace.